And once again, we have a different view here, and we will see levator scapulae. Levator scapulae will be deep to the trapezius muscle, and you'll see the scalenes just into the anterior side of it, as well as the cervical extensors medial to the levator scapulae. We will see the deltoid muscles. Here we'll be able to see the posterior and medial head. We will see the infraspinatus and teres minor, part of the rotator cuff. We'll see the serratus anterior. Heading out into the upper extremity, we see the triceps brachii. Once again, got to make sure that we identify that we're in the arm with brachii because we have multiple triceps as well. The brachioradialis. The extensor carpi ulnaris, the extensor carpi radialis longus, and extensor carpi radialis brevis, the extensor digitorum, and then heading down into the hips, we have the gluteus maximus, the gluteus medius and tensor fascia latae, and rectus femoris and vastus lateralis. Once again, we have continued our viewpoint. Now we're looking at the posterior surface or the dorsal surface for muscles. We've reflected the latissimus dorsi in order to see the deep and intermediate musculature here. So we start with the levator scapulae, and then we get to rhombidius minor and rhombidius major. We then get a cluster of muscles which are usually referred to as the erector spinae group. This includes the spinalis muscle, the longissimus muscle, and then the iliocostalis muscles. We have the serratus posterior muscle, which is going to be involved with assistance with ventilation. Working out into the upper extremity, we start with the rotator cuff muscle, where we see the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, and teres minor, part of the rotator cuff. What we're missing is the subscapularis. We get teres major, which is going to junction with latissimus dorsi into the intertrabecular groove of the humerus. Heading out into the upper extremity, we get the triceps brachii. Anterior to that, we get the brachialis. And anterior to the brachialis, we will see biceps brachii. We get the brachioradialis muscle, as well as the extensor digitorum muscle. We can also see the extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, as well as the abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis longus. We can see the tendon of the extensor digitorum that's going out to indices, which will be extensor digitorum indices. Continuing on, we get the trapezius muscle. What you can see here is you can actually see all of the trapezius muscle now with its multiple heads. The multiple heads lead to the convergent anatomy of the trapezius muscle and its multiple lines of pull. The levator scapulae, which will be deep to trapezius. Teres major and latissimus dorsi. The rhombidius muscles. Notice how minor is superior to major. Then we get 3 of the 4 rotator cuff muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and then teres minor. So again, we'll be able to see serratus posterior. And then deep to serratus posterior, we'll have our spinalis, longissimus, and iliocostalis muscles moving from medial to lateral. We get gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus. Continuing down, looking at